Hey, Redemption Gateway, welcome to the third episode of the Daily Dose. This is a Monday through Friday shot in the arm of encouragement in the midst of discouraging times. Right now we're walking through the book of 1 Peter, and Peter is encouraging the discouraged church. They are spread out, they are oppressed, they are on the margins. Things are not looking good if they only have a horizontal lens. But what Peter's trying to do is help them broaden their view of history, go from short-term thinking to long-term thinking, and helping them look Godward in the midst of the temptation to become only functionally atheists. And here in this section of the book, he's particularly encouraging them in light of how bad things might be going in terms of their view of success here on earth and in the short term. In particular, he encourages them, "We have been born again to a living hope through the resurrection of Jesus Christ from the dead, to an inheritance that is imperishable, undefiled, and unfading." If there's one thing we can learn in months and times like these, is that most of our views of our inheritance, of financial success, of financial security, are at best perishable and potentially fading, and though they may be defiled. But Peter here is saying you have a different type of inheritance, one that is imperishable, undefiled, and unfading. And I imagine that if I was contacted tomorrow by someone who said, "Guess what? Surprise, you have this massive inheritance that's coming your way," that my emotional capacity to handle the waves and winds of tumultuous times would go up because I know I have this security blanket of some kind. And Peter's saying something like that even what we learned 2 days ago in Psalm 24:1, that the whole earth belongs to the Lord, and if he is our Father and we are his children, then we are going to inherit the earth. And this is massive because it means that even though we might have massive and painful short-term losses, in ultimate sense, we will inherit the whole earth. Consider that. Think about that. Measure your losses these past weeks. I'm not saying they're not painful. I'm not saying they're not difficult, but I'm saying that if we embrace a long view of history, difficult times will be blips on the eternal timeline in which we're living. And we need to be a people who look to Christ, who has secured for us by the resurrection an absolutely unfading, imperishable inheritance that cannot be taken away, that includes new creation and the whole earth. And we as God's people, we as his children, have a benefactor for a father, and his inheritance cannot be touched by market drops or viruses. And so let us rejoice in that security, knowing that even as we grieve momentary pains and losses, we have an ultimate hope, a living hope that cannot be taken away, and that is sure and certain, more so even than that the sun will rise tomorrow. Thank you, Redemption Gateway, for turning in. We'll see you tomorrow for Daily Dose, Episode 4.